believe things exist people don't see?
Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I did get heavily into these stories when I first got online in the mid-90s, and there were a lot of conspiracy theories around, so I turned it into albums like Negatron and Phobos, but it was just, to me, a stimulation for my imagination. These are like, you can't really believe everything that's online, you know, but I love this stuff though. I think it's a good spark for stories, you know? Believe some and leave some.
Well, every like subject, like there's like conspiracy about the climate change, you know. It's just, you know, it's happening, but you know, like everyone has their own like theory, you know. It's like, you know.
There's the one movie I need to see though. It's Who Killed the Electric Car. I need to see that one.
Electric car.
I want to see this one. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, because that plays in the conspiracy that this car could have been available to the public decades ago, but that its production and release was suppressed by the oil companies. Do you believe this is possible, likely?
Of course.
I need to see the movie, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, there's always been like money interests. So the oil industry is pretty powerful, and you know, that's how it works. You know, it's the same thing with like, you know, the Iraq War. You know, they haven't done it like just for fun. You know, they went down there because they need the oil, and you know, they don't care about the people over there. So they don't care about the soldiers going there, and they don't care about the people who are actually killing them. They just want the oil.
There's the recession in the States. There's a recession looming in Canada.
Oh, we hear all kind of stuff about like people, very, very rich people manipulating the market and making sure there's a crash so they can buy a lot of values and then sell them later and all that. And I mean, it's nowadays, it's with the information, it's really hard to have a conspiracy that's not exposed, you know. There's so much information, and it's to me it's getting even more confusing because there are more details coming out in the light, you know. It gets really confusing.
But it's strange because you're talking about that, because there's like two things. Like there was the misinformation a long time ago, and now it's like oversaturation of information, which is the same thing. Yeah. It does create the same power. It's like people get sick of it. There's too much information. They don't want to hear about it. So you could still do all your crime that way because overexposure. That's what it is.
I'm sure that there are people paid to use it properly and misinform people. And again, there's so much information, it gets kind of blurry after a while, and they can manipulate people the same way as when they keep them in the dark.
And you know what is the biggest conspiration? God. Is there a God? It's just to believe, you know. That's what conspiration is all about. You believe in something, and so if you believe that no one went on the moon, if you believe like one guy shot Kennedy, if you believe like the plane didn't crash in the world like in 9/11, you know, then there's your conspiracy. If you don't believe in God, then there's no God. Especially with the internet now.
Yeah.
But you know, what you believe, like it's your own. You know, you believe what you think it's the truth. You know, but the truth is, anyone could lie. You don't know.
It's pretty much the only thing. Well, like let's say, if something happens in China and the government tries to repress it, there will always be a few people able to blog somewhere to say, look, this is what's happening for real, and they'll even have little clips, but it's all really underground. But that's where the changes start, and it's really on the internet, because on TV you don't see that much, especially
no, it's controlled.
Especially like when let's say you go to USA, you really don't see the same thing on TV that you see in Canada, and even less. I mean, in Europe it's totally different. Well, you'll see the other side of the war in Iraq. see images of the war over there, you'll be like, oh my God, they don't show that in America, and you know, that's the thing right now. So you really have to surf on the net to be aware.
They're saying that the internet is soon to come under control of much the same authorities and the regulation. Do you believe it's going to happen?
No, because internet will always have something to do with hacking and people, rebels, and there will always be a faction of people on the against the big shots there that will go underground and blog about things, and you can't really shut them down because they can be anywhere.
Yeah, they don't need to control the internet. There's no necessity, really. You know, they don't feel like they're in jeopardy. Like, there's no need. I don't think the internet is like, you know, it's like people are, as individuals, we're not that strong. It's like it's as a whole. And I think that's what happened in the last 40 years. Like, you know, like the power of union, the power of people regrouping, like it's not as powerful as it used to be. You know?
What do you think could come of the Obama election? Anything, or is it just a visual tease?
I think he's really. I think that guy is genuine. He's honest, and he really wants to. He really wants to talk to all sides, like, you know, if we're talking like international, even like in their own like country, like he wants to sit and talk with people and talk with people who wants to talk, because there's other you know, there's people who don't want to talk, they just want their own way, and you know, they're crazy dictator, whatever you call them, you know. But you know, so, you know, the biggest terrorist ever, it's been the US, you know, it's not been like Bin Laden, and you know, these guys are, you know, individual terrorists, but the wide terrorism is a country doing it. It's not. So, you know, like they wanted to, you know, crucify Clinton because he got a blowjob, and he say he never got a blowjob, and you know, there's a guy, you know, it's like who started a war without any freaking reason, and you know, it's like killing like I don't know how many people die in Iraq, and you know, no one judged that guy. He's gonna go out free and unpunished and rich. Rich, yeah.
When 9/11 happened, you know, the U.S. were victims, global victims for the first time. Do you feel as though that kind of, I don't know, excused other things that they've done?
Yeah, of course. For a short period of time, people were blinded by revenge and all that, and the Republicans jumped at it and seized the opportunity to say, yeah, we need to kick some terrorist ass, you know? And everybody went, yeah! And if you went, no, there'll be a lot of ordinary people will die, children, and people were like, you're not a patriot, and all that. So yeah, for a short while it was to their advantage to attack immediately, and it's just that now like 8 years later, people came back to their sense and realized it was a big mistake to have the Bush dynasty at the power for so long. It totally switched the planet around, and now there's a lot of work to be done to make it back to where it was. Since I mean, Obama won the election, I think people have a new vision of Americans now. People were pretty disappointed with the fact that Bush was elected twice in a shady way, but still he got enough votes so he could steal it, you know. And well, so people say. And now people have another vision of Americans now. There's a bit of hope there.
Yeah, but except that you have to look at how many people actually vote for the Republican. There's still like something like 46-47% of the population who did vote for the Republican. It's like it's not, you know, so it's like it hasn't changed really. Just, you know,
we'll see.
The boss are, you know, there's new boss over there at the White House, but so we'll see if it's gonna get a little bit better. But you know, the U.S. is a scary country, like many other countries. Even Canada, you know, look who's in power now. For fuck's sake.